This is Matt for Into Boxing. Delighted for the first time in a while to be joined by big heavyweight Johnny Fisher. Johnny, first off, before we crack on, how's things?
Matt, I'm all good, mate. I hope you're well too. Just training hard, getting ready for the 6th of August.
Absolutely. Another fight coming up in a couple of weeks. I saw you had a bit of a barbecue down in Essex the other day. Few people there, food review. What was that like? A bit of a ticket collection thing with some of the fans and things
Yeah, that was really good. It's good to see, as you said, Food Review Club, a few other people, a few of my sponsors, people who support me as well. So it was great. And the Rabbits is a great location for that in the summer. You can't beat it out in the beer garden. So it was good to see a lot of local people and people coming from Southampton as well. A couple of people came from Southampton. Great to see them. And really, really nice to have that support.
Have you had any indication of how well you've done for tickets this time around? Because it's a bit more of a trek for you for the Romford Bull Army this time round.
Definitely. We won't pull in the numbers that we did for London, but we've won about 700, 800 tickets at the minute. So that's not bad for an away day in the middle of the 6 weeks holidays. So the amount of people that have said, I'm gutted, I can't come, I'll be on holiday at the time is just staggering. But I reckon if it was like October time, we would have got over 1,000, but 700, 800 Romford Bull Army in there is going to be good.
I have to say, I think I ask you this every time, but are you not at all blown away by that? Because this isn't even like it's in the O2 or anywhere sort of close to you guys. It's a good few hours up the road, very close to where I am. Are you blown away? 700 tickets. Some people won't do that from Sheffield.
I know. Listen, it's a privilege to have that support. It really, really does mean a lot.
Yeah.
But it doesn't shock me really, because at the O2 and the my dad was selling tickets right up to the day when we done about 1,500 tickets. You could have done a few more for that. In the Ali Pally, we sold 1,500 within the space of 1 day or 2 days. We could have easily done 4,000 tickets for that. I'm not exaggerating. We weren't given enough at the time to begin with, and like that's what staggered it. It was staggered coming through. But I think for the next one in London, we'll do a good couple of thousand again, or 3,000 maybe even.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your dad anyway. He's almost as big a star as you at the minute. Everywhere I see him, he's doing nightclub appearances, doing this, that, and the other. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant to see. But I kept saying, I think he was somewhere near my neck of woods, and like Big John nightclub appearance. Johnny going on. I'm like, what is going on here? Talk to us about your dad. He's a big part of your team.
Oh yeah, listen, he's bigger. He's bigger than what we've created in the boxing. Listen, obviously the boxing and getting him noticed through the Zone when we was on that show at the O2, that got him a lot of recognition. But listen, I'm not under any illusion. Big John is a bigger star than me. I'm not even a star. I'm just someone starting out my boxing career. Yeah. He is literally a legend. He is royalty to a lot of people up and down the country. And I'm not just saying that because he's my dad. People come out of their way. Oh my God, I can't believe I've met Big John. It's unbelievable. So it is funny to see. It's brilliant just for a man eating chicken balls and having sweet and sour sauce poured over him. It's brilliant, but it's great to see. It helps me a little bit as well. If 5% or 10% of them people become fans of me as well, it's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've only met him once, and he invited me down for a Chinese. He was.
He just wants an excuse to have a Chinese whenever you meet someone.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Next time I'm down that way,
Definitely.
I'm dropping in for one. Anyway, let's get back to you. Before Derek Chisora's last fight against Kubrat Pulev, you did a bit of sparring with him. I saw the pictures. How was that for you? I know you've been in there with a few people now, but Del Boy got the victory. What was it like sparring with the likes of Derek Chisora? Learn anything new?
Yeah. Yeah, it's brilliant. Brilliant to spar Derek Chisora. You can feel the experience of the man, someone who's had 40-odd fights. That's going to pay dividends for himself. He knows how to, if you don't know how to get yourself around the ring at that many fights, then you never will. So you can feel the experience, the strength, the overall ring craft of Derek. Although he's a fighter, he's a brawler, still got a skill in the way that he moves around the ring. And I learned a lot from that. And listen, I've done well myself. I held my own. I've landed some good shots. And hopefully we can get some more work in as we move forward. But he looked brilliant in the fight. I think he lasted 12 rounds with a great engine, putting all them doubters saying that he can't fight 12 rounds, he won't be able to do it. Well, he proved them all wrong in that fight, didn't he?
Absolutely. I think nothing surprises me about him anymore. I think he had a turning point in his career. I think it was when he first met up with David Hay and signed that promotional contract. His body shape seems to be completely different. It's got better as he got older, and he's cracking on. There's a lot of talks, and this talk keeps getting resurfaced about him and Deontay Wilder. Eddie did it after he got beat by Joseph Parker, and I was like, you don't normally throw someone in who's
No.
just been beat to him. And I know it was a fight with Pulev that he won, but what do you think about that fight when he gets floated about? Do you think something he needs at this point in his career? Because I know he'd do it. There's no doubt in that.
That's what exactly. Derek Chisora will fight anyone. He's a warrior. That's why we love him. That's why he's a fan favourite amongst the British public as well. But listen, there's other options he can take out there, which would just be just as lucrative. I think the Dillian White fight would be a great fight. They do the third one of them would be brilliant. He could even do the Kubrat Pulev fight again, because that was interesting. That was good to see, and it was close. It was, although I think Derek won, it was a close contest. So, but he's got other options. He doesn't have to rush into fighting Deontay Wilder. Listen, if he wants to and the money's right, there's no reason why he shouldn't, in terms of if he wants to do it. But I would just say to him, if I was in his team, I'd say, look, there's other ways we can go here. There's other routes. And Dillian White, I think, would be a good fight.
Yeah, I think that fight as well is a very quick sellout. Like Derek's coming off a win. I mean, he's got a bit of rub of the green this time round. He's had some fights where sometimes you look and think you're very unfortunate there. And Dillian's coming off the back of that knockout by Tyson, but we all know that maybe, you know, Dillian and Derek, that rivalry will go down in history. And a third fight, I think,
definitely
unbelievable numbers.
100%, I agree. 100%.
Are you happy at the minute with how your career's progressed? You're only a few fights in. You're fighting at a particular level. I know you're not one to get ahead of yourself, which is quite evident to see. Are you going to be fighting at this sort of level? You know, a couple more fights to still progress and, you know, come along. You're still young as well.
Listen, I've got no rush whatsoever. The last guy I fought proved a difficult task. He was experienced. He was a veteran. He's been in with some top names. Went the distance with Oscar Rivas. And when I think back to taking that in your fifth fight, I think I've done a pretty good job there, because to come from no amateur experience to then in my fifth fight beat the guy who's a Spanish champion and went the distance with Rivas, winning 3 out of 8 rounds against him, I thought, I can't knock what I've done there. You get out the ring, you're like, I didn't get the knockout. I'm disappointed. My hand was busted up. I thought I had a cut as well. So listen, I'm pleased. I showed a progression from my fifth fight from my first fight. That's all I'm going to say, because I've gone from fighting someone like Matt Gordon, no disrespect to him, to a seasoned veteran of 20 odd fights, and that's great for me to do that. And listen, there's so much learning to do. I've got so much longer of a longer way to go, and there's no disgrace in that. And I'm not going to shy away from admitting that. I've got a very, very long way to go, but it's good that I've got a long time. So I'm only 23 years old.
Yeah. Also, as well, that night I were there was a lot of pressure on you because you sold a lot of tickets. That crowd were there for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Main event, but it was the Johnny Fisher show at one point. It was incredible. Yeah,
it was brilliant. It was brilliant. Listen, Danny Jacobs and John Ryder, 2 absolutely brilliant boxers who I've looked up to a lot. Brilliant to be a chief support to them. I wouldn't think in my 4th, 5th fight I'd be a chief support to someone, and I'm going to be chief support again in this fight as well. Yeah,
might be massive, that fear. Now, look, I've noticed something about you. You don these like black old Mike Tyson style boots when you box. There's none of this Reebok, Nike, fancy colours flying about. It's straight down to business. Is that something you've sort of taken from him, or is that just I'm no nonsense, let's just crack on? Is that just your sort of personality coming out of it?
Yeah, I just like I think the black look, the solid black look is quite good. I have a little bit of a different colour on my shorts every time. I've had a black and red, a bit of black and green, black and gold. It's not going to be black and silver for the Steel City of Sheffield. We're going to go for a little theme like that. But the black boots, I think they look classic. And obviously I'm a Mike Tyson fan. Who isn't a Mike Tyson fan? And I just think it's that no-nonsense way of approaching it. Just there's no flashiness. You're going there to do the job, and I'm going to entertain people by what I do in the ring rather than what I wear into the ring.
Yeah, 100%. A proper vintage look.
Yes, definitely, 100%.
Talk to me about, this is a fight that's not in your weight category, but I want to get your opinion on it. We think we're going to get an announcement very shortly of Conor Benn and Chris Eubank. It's a very sort of surreal. I'm sure it's surreal for both dads. What's your take on that fight? I think they're putting a rehydration clause in and fighting at a catch weight. What's your opinion on that fight? What's your take on it? It's unbelievable. Really.
I think it's great. It's iconic, really. The children of 2 of the greatest British boxers at the time, Eubank Senior and Nigel Benn. It'll be a sellout. It'll sell out the O2. It'll be brilliant to watch, and it's a great move for both them guys. It'll be a big fight. They'll make a lot of money from it. Conor Benn, he puts in a good performance and don't get the decision, he can move back down. Eubank Jr., he's probably got a little bit more pressure on himself being the bigger man. I probably would think, if I'm thinking logically, I think the bigger man has the advantage. You'd probably say him as a favourite going into it. But the form that Conor Benn's in at the minute, the way he's knocking people out, knocking people over, he's got that ferocious style. It's going to be a great fight. Forget who it's Eubank and Conor Benn and the names that they bring. It'll be a great fight stylistically anyway, between them two.
100%, completely agree with you there. Right, I need to talk to you about this word "bosh" because everybody's saying it. Oh God, honestly, I spoke to Shane earlier and he sent me a voice note saying it. I just said, "Can you just move his time?" And I got "bosh," and I'm like, have you ever said that at a time that's been just completely inappropriate? Because it's said.
I never used to say it.
Opening a door, "bosh," doing a "bosh."
Yeah. It used to get on my nerves before when my dad first started saying it. I said, "What the hell are you saying it like that for?" And then you find yourself saying it after a while without even realizing. And I keep looking through TikTok videos and Instagram videos and people doing food reviews and stuff like that, or saying, I see a lot of them when they're making dishes up and people are saying it on the end of that now. And it's crazy how it's gone. But they love the way he says it. He says bash, like B-A-S-H rather than B-O-S-H. So it's crazy how it's just taken off. And it's just, I think it's just such a flexible term. It can mean anything. So anything can be anything good. You just say bash.
All right. Look, thanks for giving us some of your time. Have you got a message to the Romford Bull Army ahead of August the 6th?
I just want to say a massive thank you to anyone who's spent their hard-earned money on tickets, because it's not easy times out there. And sparing money to come watch me fight, it really does mean a lot. And it's been great to have support from the north as well. There's a lot of people cut from the north and South London as well. People from all over the country. It's brilliant. So listen, I'm going to do my best to put on a good performance. A big thank you to all my sponsors as well who support me, and you all make it possible for me to do as best I can. And that's all I can do, give my best every time. And I will for all the people that want to support me. It really means a lot.
100%. Well, look, we're gonna have someone there on the night to cover the fight and make sure
brilliant.
Shoot with you. So, Johnny Fisher, appreciate your time. Thanks for talking to Into Boxing, and yeah, we'll see you on fight night.
Cheers, Matt. Thanks a lot, mate. Appreciate it.
Anytime, Johnny. Thank you, mate.